My name is Nellie Hall, and I'm going to be focusing on seasonal depression, specifically in the Boone area of North Carolina. Now, I chose this topic because of my personal connection to seasonal depression. It's something that I've dealt with in the past, but moving to the Boone area, I noticed a big change in my typical symptoms, and I also talked to a lot of people here at the school, and they kind of had the same thing going on, and I wanted to take a deeper look into why this happens, why the climate makes such a big difference, and kind of how it affects different people who are from different places. And the main effects that I found from seasonal depression were just exhaustion, lack of motivation, and feelings of loneliness. And something I found very interesting about this topic was it affects women more than men. So I wanted to focus on a female audience just because they experience it more, and I'm also a female, so I know how that feels. So what is SAD? It's seasonal affective disorder, which takes place in the late fall, early winter, and it affects mood, energy, motivation, just typical depression symptoms, but they worsen in some seasons and lessen in the others. So my story, like I said, I've dealt with it, and the first time I noticed it was COVID-19, but I kind of just figured that it was due to the isolation, the pandemic, everything going on in the world. But I kind of found that once that had settled down, I still had those same feelings in the winter, and I honestly felt like a different person in the winter. So it was a concern of mine when I moved to App that would worsen, and it definitely did, but it was something that I kind of had in the back of my mind. I just wasn't really prepared for the snow or anything. And that's something I'm going to talk about. It's something I think that helps a lot of students, is just kind of knowing what you're getting into and having a mindset about it and being like, what can I do to help with this? Definitely makes a difference. So what makes Boone different? Obviously it's in the mountains, higher elevation, so it's colder temperatures than pretty much most of North Carolina. Heavier snowstorms and just less sunlight year-round. A lot of the time it rains here, even if it's not snowing, it's pretty cloudy. So I kind of found that as soon as I got here, I got less vitamin D than I typically did, just because it was cloudy a lot of the time. And then obviously in the winter, I really felt like I was missing a lot of vitamin D and just being outside, fresh air, all that kind of stuff. So it definitely has a strong correlation to mental health. So the first finding I found was the student I interviewed, Maddie, who really related to having seasonal depression. She originally lived in Florida for pretty much her whole life, so she'd only ever kind of been in the sun, at the beach, very warm, and she'd never been to Boone, and she just committed because she wanted to see how the mountains were. So when she came here, she didn't really have anything to expect, so it definitely hit her a lot harder. She said she struggled with school, finding motivation to even get out of bed, and she even said that she wished she would have known beforehand. So I think that that's something students should definitely think about before committing or even going anywhere in college, just visiting the environment and talking to people beforehand. So to kind of counteract that point of view, I talked to the other student, Olivia, who had kind of grown up coming to Boone, so she was very excited for the snow. She knew what she wanted, she knew she liked Boone, she liked the area. So she had a different outlook and an expectation that was set in stone. So I definitely think that makes a big difference between her and Maddie's point of view. Olivia still said that it was difficult in the winter, any places, but she definitely had a different outlook compared to Maddie. So back to the common symptoms, fatigue. I say sleep issues because a lot of the time it can be not being able to sleep or sleeping too much. One of the students I interviewed said that she would just kind of sleep all day. And then I also had my own kind of issues where I had trouble falling asleep, which I've never had before. So it can affect people in different ways for sure. Coping strategies that some of the students I talked to, a big one was exercise. A lot of students found that exercise was really good, releasing endorphins, was kind of like the highlight of their day in the wintertime, getting some movement in, so definitely would recommend that. Sticking to a strong routine as well. I feel like your productivity matters on what you can plan out in your day before, and some of the students I talked to said that this really helps them. And then of course staying social and in touch with friends and family, which can kind of be hard when you're not feeling it, but definitely makes a difference to talk to people and talk about how you're feeling. Something that I also looked into was health support, so taking daily supplements such as vitamin D, B12, vitamin C, helps with your immune system, energy, and sunlight. Also keeping a balanced diet, which I feel like is hard in college. As a freshman, you have dining hall food, which isn't super nutritious, and I feel like it's hard to find healthy options, but I do feel like what you put in your body definitely helps with how you feel. And I also do feel like once you live off campus, it's a big adjustment to go from living with your parents or having food around you all the time to cooking on your own. But finding healthy foods and good habits definitely helps with mental health, with how you feel. So final takeaways is that SAD is real and common among students everywhere, especially here at App State. It's definitely something that affects a big portion of the student body, and the Boone environment is a big part of that. But what's important is that you're not alone, and it's good to reach out if you need any help. There's school counseling, talking to your friends and family, and there's many ways to manage your symptoms and find the fun and joy in Boone.